For today's lab adventure, we're going to continue where we left off. Last got the head off. We need to get the chains off of the crankshaft. And the last chain is for the oil pump. We've already researched that. So we're this chain, take that bolt out, get the chain off. This tensioner first. If we look close on this tensioner, this one's doing good. We have a spring on this bolt. Kind of hard to see the detail. Part of it's hooked around this bolt here, and it's hooked into, you can see it coming up over, hooked into the plastic here. So a couple of ways to do that. Probably just start with that, where it pivots, get that off, and then take that off. See the little spring tension on this when it comes out? Shouldn't be too bad, but it might go flying. Did all right. You can see there's a little bit tight getting the bolt out. For us, I'm going to put that bolt back in there. If you were sending this out and getting the block all cleaned up, you'd want to bag and tag on that. All of these parts here. Which I may do anyway. Sorry I have my hands in the way there for a little bit. Still a little bit of tension on it. Now it's loose. And the chain may come off. I didn't think it would. This one is. Sometimes you can walk them off. Yeah, it's just pretty tight. Let's also look at, while we are here, let's look at what I'm seeing. Right here. This is that diamond washer. When I looked it up in the picture, these things are, they don't look like much. If I can pluck it off with this pointer, it'd be handy. It keeps me out of the way. There we go, you can't tell yet, but if I come in this way, there's one of these on front of the crank sprocket. You can see just how thin that is. It's not much. In fact, students miss this when they take things apart. You gotta look real close at the detail when you're doing this kind of work there, and trying to get a good photograph of it. I dropped it up there. So we need to get this off. You can't use an impact. That's an easy way to do it, actually. Let me get there. We need to get this off right here. You can use an impact, and it'll just zip right off. If you try to put a ratchet on it, it's just going to spin freewheel, just like that. Now there is another, and there wasn't anything in the instructions, but if you've been working on stuff for a while, you figure out that there are some ribs on the oil pump itself back behind. And I just happen to have a bolt. It's just the right size. Anything, a Phillips screwdriver I've used before. If you put this in there, then it'll lock up. There's very little torque. See how it's locking? You can see that it's acting. You can almost see the rib of the casting that it's locking up against. There's another one down below. That's why it's only going back and forth. We're going to use that as our holding the sprocket in place special tool. And loosen this bolt. It's holding that sprocket on. Or better. There, we can see that coming out. And it's all going to come out together. Take that out. We don't have enough slack, we can get this off. Put it up. Unzoom. That's fine. So now the sprocket's going to come off. Theoretically, there's another washer back behind. This is the front. And we'll look at that again here pretty close. Yes, there's the other diamond washer. So I'm not sure students worked on this one. This may have been the one I used to figure out how these things were put together. So I'm going to set that on there temporarily. I'm going to put this aside. And here's what we need to pay attention to. In the drawing I had you look up, you can see just barely that the sprocket teeth are a different width. I asked you about that. It's kind of, if I get close, there, you can see these are much wider than these. Yeah. Difficult to stay in the center. There we go. Now I'm going to turn it that way. Now we can see. Not really easy to see, but these are wider. Oh, I'm on these. These are wider. These are narrower. The narrow ones are on the back side for the oil pump chain. And students like to, this is the way it should go. Wide ones out. And the students, there's such a subtle change that they're going backwards and then the chains won't go on. Chain doesn't fit the teeth because on the oil pump, and they can't figure it out. It's very subtle. Strict attention to detail, gentlemen. That's the secret. Engines have no mercy. And I was looking for the other diamond washer to put with the sprocket. Hang it there. Okay, we are ready now for pan off. Now we're going to take the oil pan off. I've turned off the engine, or turned over the engine, bottom side up. Oil pan. There are bolts here, all around. You got to look real close. There is no special sequence on an oil pan that I'm aware of. There's some more over here, of course. A couple, yeah, right here. And that's really about it. So we're going to do it the easy way and use the impact. You can also use electric battery powered drills. Work real nice on this kind of stuff for disassembly. If I'm going the right way. There are some variations in length. Looks like only 2. Some engines, a lot more variations, depending on how they're made. These 2 back ones are extremely long. All these on the side are the same. Go in there. Didn't put light on this side. We know what we're doing. Well, how many times have I said that and had a humbling experience? So you know the drill. Keep them all together. Only 2 different lengths, so it's going to be easy enough to figure out. Oil pans are always stuck. Hard to get off. Old ones were stamped sheet metal. Well, most all these new ones are aluminum. They have put several places in to pry them. I am looking now, I only see one, although we do have an opening up here too. See, we can go in there. And this has already been off. There's another one back here. Put photos around, videos around on that. So this is ready to come off. Oil pan off. Next is, basically if it's your first time, have a look at what's going on. This is our oil pickup. Goes down the bottom of the pan. Picks up the oil, sucks it up, runs it through the pump. In this case, we're going to leave the oil pump on. We'll take this off because we need this off to get our main bearing girdle off, which is all of this right here. So there's only 2 bolts here. That'll be easy. Next is take this main bearing girdle off. There is a sequence of removal on it, but actually we need to, it won't come out until we take this rear seal off. There's the rear seal. Of course, this will be taken off. With it on the engine stand, it's very difficult. You can get to it though. You can get to the bolts. Got a very short ratchet for these. These were not supposed to be tightened very much. Not sure I can get to all of them. They gotta come off. And we can't get the main girdle off. So I got them all. I got that side loose. And the oil pan and this also have silicone type gasket sealer on them. So you'll just pry them off. There's the rear seal off. So what I'm going to do is put this and all those little bolts in one bag, one large bag. Got ahead of myself. By taking that off. Because what I need to do is take the pistons out first. Pistons are supposed to come out first. And that seal would have been, no, just before we took this off. We can't take this main bearing girdle off until we get the pistons out.